are valid, but the goal is not to be triggered every time. Never mind, it's just life. It's okay for my sanity to choose perfect peace, and I'll forever and always be here, present. I am enough as I am. I am fully equipped. Even when the tide and the current start to shift, I am adaptable. I am adaptable. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Safe for me to be grounded. The balance between problem solving and the universe working itself out. All that I have is all that I need, but to actualize it I can't doubt, no doubt. My emotions are valid, but the goal is not to be triggered every time. Never mind, it's just life. It's okay for my sanity. I choose peace, and I'll forever and always be present. I am enough as I am. I am fully equipped. Even when the tide and the current start to shift, I am adaptable. I am adaptable. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Safe for me to be grounded in the present moment. I honor God when I honor me. I honor God when I honor you. You honor God when you honor me. If you don't honor God, how could you honor me? Honor me.
Is it true? You actually think of me as less than you. Just wish that I knew how something like that could happen. Maybe it's just in passing, 'cause nothing is everlasting, no. But like really though, how do you know that I can overcome all of the obstacles? She just looked me in the eyes, said it's gonna be alright, 'cause I know that's how it goes. The only thing we know is that we change. Nothing's ever gonna stay the same forever, forever. No, I won't, 'cause no one ever does. You just have to learn and learn to trust whenever, whenever. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose and get sad about it, just know it's gonna go away. It doesn't make sense that somebody else got all of the praise when you did the same thing. It doesn't feel real when they all say it's the same rules when you play, when you know that's not the case. The only thing we know is that we change. Nothing's ever gonna stay the same forever.
your heart. Keep it in your pocket for safekeeping. Don't ever let nobody be the reason you throw it out. You stop caring about it. Don't let your head get in the way. Can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard. But sometimes you fall. Yeah, sometimes you fall. Sometimes you fall. Precious cargo. Be careful with my heart, oh. Say I'm not sensitive, but I can sense if it's right for me. Don't let your head get in the way. Can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard. But sometimes you fall. Yeah, sometimes you fall. Sometimes you fall. And I know that you really tried to protect it. I know that you really tried, but you didn't get it. Sometimes you fall. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Keep it in here and lock it. Keep it in here, don't knock it. Before you try being on your own side for once, for once. Keep it in here and lock it. Keep it in here, don't knock it. Before you try being on your own side for once, for once. But sometimes you fall. 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 Sometimes you fall.
Good morning. Well, actually, good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. Thank you for joining us again. Glad to have you with us on another beautiful Sunday. I know it's raining in some parts. We've had some tornadoes come through in other parts. But it's still a beautiful Sunday. I'm glad that you have made the decision to start your day with us as we continue our 13-week series of the Magnanimous Manifestation. This series is giving you the tools, breaking down the ingredients to become a master manifester. We've heard this saying over and over again about manifestation and I manifest this, so on and so forth. But how do we do it on a consistent basis? How do we master the space of manifestation? That's what we've been talking about for the last 4 weeks. We're going to continue that discussion today. What we've done is we've broken the word manifestation down into an acronym. And so as in previous sessions, we've talked about M being mindfulness. We must be mindful in how we are manifesting. Mindful, we're being intentional. We're being very thoughtful. We're not all over the place. We're not hoping that this happens, but then throwing something else out there at the same time, and whatever hits, then that's the one we want. No, we're being very intentional. The second one was attune, meaning we're being in attune, aligned with what it is that we desire to manifest. We're not being the opposite. Many of us are operating from a space of lack, but we're not being the opposite. We're being very intentional, we're being very aligned. We're being the very thing that we desire to see manifest. We went to N.notate. We talked about all the different ways and how we can notate, document, whether it's through vision boarding, whether it's through journaling, whether it's through goal setting, setting smart goals. How can we notate this vision, notate the things that we desire to manifest? And last week we talked about I. And the letter I represented, actually, I have it right here on the screen. I don't know why I haven't brought it up here for us. Here it goes. Initiate. There it is at the bottom, the acronym, initiate. We want to be able to initiate, because many of us sit back on our hands and we hope that things can happen, but we don't take action. We don't initiate. We don't begin. And so, if you want to go back and listen to any one of those four, it is on the YouTube channel, One Transformation Center. And before I go into what this week's is about, I want to give a little bit of information about One Transformation Center. First of all, my name is Ncredible. For those who are tuning in for the first time, and for others, I am the founder and leader, transformation leader of One Transformation Center. And it's my absolute pleasure to be with you, to help you, to support you with manifesting the life that you desire to see. But most importantly, to align with the life that you agreed by way of your soul contract to create before you came into this physical existence. And I'm also here to remind you that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are an extension and reflection of God, of the master creator. So that gives you some power that we haven't been tapping into. So that's what this series is about, is to help you to be able to tap into those powers, to utilize, to optimize those powers so that you can be intentional and be consistent in your manifesting. We all want that, right? I think we do. I think every one of us wants to have that sense of power, that sense of control on what we're creating. You know, put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you're good with just flying by the seat of your pants. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to be in alignment with the powers that be, with your divinity, to manifest in a magnanimous way. You can do this whether it's live or on the playback. I'm curious to see the mindset of those who are listening to this stream. Okay? So just a quick information about what is One Transformation Center. One Transformation Center is a space where you can come and find refuge. It's a space for personal development. It's a space for enlightenment. It's a space where we celebrate humanity, where we focus on our similarities versus our disparities. It's a space where health and wellness occurs. A space where alternative and holistic health measures occur. It is a space of freedom. So we invite you to connect with us and follow us on all our social media platforms, beginning with YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram. All at the same name, One Transformation Center. It'd be our absolute pleasure to have you. Absolute pleasure. All right. Let's take a moment to take a couple of deep breaths so we can prepare to receive the message that is meant for us today. We're going to take a total of 3 breaths. And in these breaths, I want us to allow ourselves to be available for what is here in this moment to support us. And as you exhale through your mouth, I want you to release any blockage, any ideology, any philosophy that does not support you. You ready? Let's begin. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Again through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. One last time, deep and intentional. Through your nose. And out through your mouth. Yes. Fantastic. All right. We give thanks for this day. We give thanks for the opportunity to receive information unlike any we've received before, to confirm the information that we've often wondered, and to release the doubt that are preventing us from being able to manifest on a consistent and concise basis. We give thanks for this information, and we just simply ask these things. Give us the words that you want us to hear. Have us to see that which you desire for us to see, and know that which you know. We desire truly to think how you think, to see how you see, to know what you know, to move how you move in this moment and forevermore. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Amen and Ashe. All right. As I stated before, we're working on the 13-week series of the Magnanimous Manifestation. Magnanimous Manifestation. And we're going to begin with the definition of magnanimous. Let's pull up our screen here. All right. The definition of magnanimous, which is also on the screen, is showing or suggesting a lofty and courageous spirit, nobility of feeling, and generosity of mind. I'll repeat that one more time. Showing or suggesting a lofty and courageous spirit, nobility of feeling, and generosity of mind. Now, the question I have for you is this. Actually, my apologies. Let me turn that off. The question I have for you is this. When you are creating, when you are manifesting, are you doing so from a space of loftiness or courageousness, with a courageous spirit in mind? Are you doing so from a space of nobility and a generosity of mind? Is that your intention as you're creating, as you're desiring? Or are you only doing it from a space that's one-sided? From a space that only allows you to receive? That's the question I have for you. Are you only doing it? Are you doing it for a space that everybody benefits, or only you? Only you. If you're doing it from a space that is solely you, you have to understand that that is where there is endings. That's where the limitations occur. But when you create from a space of abundance, a space where there is giving for others to receive, a space of overflow, then you have consistency. The first one, you're building a dam called ego, edging God out. The second one, there's no dam, there's constant fluidity. There's fluidity that's always occurring. It's always flowing. It's always flowing. So in that space, which one do you think that you want? The one where the dam occurs, there's only selfish intention, where there's limitations. Or the second one, where there is an unlimited amount that you're creating from a space of excess, where there's abundance and plethora, so that others are benefiting as well as you. That's the difference between just manifesting singularly and manifesting from a magnanimous space. Okay? So let's go back here again. Now, we're going to go back to this week. Week 4 is fortify. The definition of fortify is to protect or strengthen against attack. Now, these attacks can occur in many different ways. It doesn't just have to be a one-sided attack. It doesn't just have to be an attack that occurs because of what you outside of yourself, right? Do you realize that the main attacks occur from within yourself? Do you realize that the main attacks occur from within yourself? Think about it. The attacks that we experience the most aren't outside of ourselves. They're within us. They're within us. So we have to first and foremost fortify that which we desire to manifest from our own sabotage, our own self-sabotage. We have to protect it from our self-sabotage. What are ways that we can sabotage? One, you ever had someone, or maybe even yourself, who was gifted a piece of information, and once they had a small piece of that information, they thought they knew a lot. They thought they had enough to go forth and create a lot, much. But then they realized they ran up against this challenge and another challenge, then another challenge and another roadblock, another obstacle, and wonder why they couldn't move forth. Well, the reason is they didn't have the entirety. They were too quick to move. There's a passage that says, be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. Make sure you are staying in the space long enough to get the entire ingredients. It's like a cake. If you don't have every ingredient in that cake, you will not have a successful cake. You will not enjoy it. It will not be full. It will not rise the way it's supposed to rise. It will not have the flavors that it's supposed to have, the moistness that it's supposed to have. It won't look beautiful if you let it stay in the oven for too long. So we have to ensure that we're staying put and not sabotaging ourselves by running off without the full ingredients. The full ingredients, the same thing for this series. We want to make sure that we're not running off without having the full ingredients of how to manifest. Just because we get a piece of it, because we have the mindfulness part. Oh, that's what I need, the mindfulness. I got to be more mindful. Well, there's other steps to it as well. Just because you understand the notation and you created your vision board and you have your SMART goals, there's also, did you forget that there's also the attune, being in tune with it? Did you also forget that there is the other elements, even the fortify, which is today? Did you forget? Did you forget about the initiate? And so when it comes down to it, we have to be able to make sure that we have all the ingredients and put them in place at the right time so that we can ensure the outcomes that we desire. All right? And of course, we have to fortify it from outsiders as well. And we're going to talk about that more too. Let's move into it. You have to protect your vision. Protect your vision. There's a quote by Scott Adams. It says, "You can't keep all bad luck from finding you, but you can fortify yourself to the point where the smaller stuff bounces off." So let me just clarify that. How does that resonate for us? We can't keep all life circumstances and situations from affecting us. However, what we can be is aware of what's happening and not allow these things to penetrate. We can prepare ourselves to take the blow and bounce back without allowing it to actually infiltrate the vision, infiltrate your desire of what it is that you desire to manifest. So we have to learn to fortify, build a shield around us to ensure that when trouble may come, when circumstances and situations may arise, that we're unaffected. We're able to move forward, to surge forward, regardless of what's happening. And next, let's talk about 9 ways to protect the vision. I'm going to bring these up. 9 ways to protect the vision. First of the nine is to be clear. To be clear on what it is that you desire to manifest. Be clear on the vision that you're creating. Be clear on the brand that you're establishing. Clarity is essential when developing and communicating your vision. That's why it's important to revision your vision on a consistent basis and ensure you can provide understanding, as well as to ensure that you're staying connected, that you haven't drifted away from the vision. So make sure you're clear. Number 2 is have intentional communication. Intentional communication. As previously stated, be clear and concise. Surround yourself with accountability partners who are also working towards a vision, who are also being intentional, magnanimous manifestors. Set realistic benchmarks. On your vision, you want your vision to be large, right? You definitely want your vision to be large because as it comes to pass, it can reach beyond you, it can create generational wealth, and in addition to that, it also creates a space where it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. It creates a space of humility. Now, at that time, so you want to create benchmarks, SMART goals that would allow you to be able to have accomplishments along your way. Things that you can actually accomplish. You don't want to set yourself up for disappointment. You don't want to sabotage yourself from the inside. Remember, we talked about that previously. So set SMART, realistic goals. We talked about SMART goals in Notate. You can always go back and listen to that stream from 2 weeks ago. Also, establish boundaries. A good rule of thumb is to have peers for business and friends and family for non-business activities, minimizing the blurring of lines. And there are some exceptions to the rule because you do want to build a culture. If you're building a company, if you're building a team, you want to build a culture. You want that culture to allow you to grow together, to become aware of each other and understand each other's strengths, each other's unique genius. Understand the areas where someone is not so strong in, so either you can help them cultivate it, or you can find someone, yourself or others, to pick up the slack in those areas. But remember, establish boundaries. Do not allow people's stuff, their circumstances and situations to penetrate you and to distract you from what it is that you're here to manifest. Because it's important to be intentional. 4th, be honest. Be honest. This is crucial. Cultivating a spirit of respectful honesty can be painful and humbling, but it will also mean that issues are dealt with right away and allows for forgiveness and the healing that comes with it. Without this, resentment will grow. I've always taken this as a practice. However, the piece that I left out is that I didn't always deal with issues directly. I didn't always deal with them right away, which in turn created some space where forgiveness wasn't always available and the healing didn't always occur, which allowed resentment to grow. You don't want that. You don't want that. Whether it's directly or indirectly connected to what it is that you desire to manifest. Honesty is always the best rule, the best policy. Because now you're not distracted by grievances. You're able to be intentional and continue to focus on what it is that you desire to manifest. Fifth, build trust. Build trust. Create opportunities to build trust outside of work, outside of your support group, outside of your accountability partners, as opposed only to relationships that are focused on what it is that you desire to manifest. Even with this one transformation center, as it continues to grow, my conversation cannot be only about this. I also have to make sure that I have a healthy balance in my life. You have to make sure that you have a healthy balance in your life. And understand that other people aren't going to always have as much passion as you have with your vision, with what it is that you desire to manifest. And that's okay. But just understand where they're coming from, which allow you to build relationships that are trustworthy. And you don't have to worry about is somebody trying to stab you in the back. Is somebody trying to sabotage you? Trust is important. But you know where the main trust occurs? The main trust occurs from yourself. Can you truly trust you with this vision? Can you truly trust you with the gift that has been given to you by the master creator to bring forth it here on earth? Can you be trusted with it? Or are you just somebody who says, oh, I got this opportunity, and you have all these gifts? I remember the parable of the seed, I believe it's called. When once a man gave his son some coins, and he gave one son 5 coins. He gave another son 2 coins, 3 coins. And the last son, he gave him 1 coin. The son that he gave with 5 coins, he went out and he utilized those coins to invest them in different places and came back with a surplus, with addition to what he received. The one that he gave 3 to did the same thing. However, the one that he gave 1 just buried it in the ground. Just buried it. It was the parable of the talents is what it's called. Just buried it in the ground in fear of losing it. So let me ask you, have you been given talents that you're not utilizing? Have you been given talents that you're burying into the ground? Or are you taking those talents and blessing others, investing into others, and allowing and cultivating it, allowing it to grow to receive a greater harvest? Many of us are not cultivating our talents. We're burying them in the ground in the fear that we may lose them. Well, the one who did that was asked to return his talents. Don't be asked. Don't be the one who's asked to return your talents. There's a passage that says your gift will make room for you. Your gift will make room for you. So allow your gift to be the tool, to be the instrument, the vehicle that you manifest with. Okay? Be trustworthy with your talent. Next, encourage daily. This is extremely important as things can appear to be like a roller coaster. So encourage and affirm yourself daily as well as others. And remember your why. Let's dive into that a little bit deeper. It is extremely important as it can get hectic. It can get hectic. It can feel like it's taking longer than you expected. You feel like you're going through your ups and your downs, your ebbs and your flows. Yet, I want you to encourage yourself to stick it through. Look yourself in the mirror, and the first thing you tell yourself is, I love you. I love you. And I am extremely proud of you. I'm proud of you for the courage that you've taken. I'm extremely proud of you for allowing yourself to be available and to be in tune, to be mindful, to initiate this vision, what it is that you desire to manifest. You are powerful beyond measure. Do not get distracted by the illusions. It does not in any way determine your identity. You are a winner. You are victorious. And there's nothing you or anyone else can do to stop you. For the Creator already told you. He alone knows the plan that He has for you. Plan to prosper you and not to harm you. Plan to give you hope in the future. So keep going. Don't give up. And even after that, go back and remind yourself of why you are desiring to manifest that which you desire. What is your why? What is your why? And let that be your motivation to continue to press forward. Next, have fun. Everything doesn't always have to be serious. Have some fun. Build a spirit of laughter and joy around you. That way you can release the stress. That way you can continue the journey, that you can find the things that are meaningful. You don't get caught up with the illusions. A friend of mine once told me, he said, remember not to allow your temporary decisions become permanent solutions. Do not allow temporary experiences to become permanent solutions, permanent situations. Because think about it. How many of us allow our temporary situations to become permanent or to last longer than they should? Then we wonder why we get distracted. I'll give you an example. During COVID, back in 2000, March, I felt the need to reconnect with the people and start doing these streams. Went out and purchased the equipment approximately April. Stood in a long line. No, actually I had it delivered. I called them and had it delivered to me. And I was so distracted about everything that was going on. Now here you are. This is the time when everybody is still, when they're looking for something to tune into because life has stopped as they know it. They become sedentary and sitting in one place all day long, going stir crazy, wanting to get out. When if they had access to this information, then they could have created something greater for themselves going forward. Yet, I became distracted by my own thoughts, by my own mind, and did not move forward. So now we're in an environment where people aren't sitting still anymore. It is a little bit harder to gain their attention and to provide information that will support them with going and creating something more magnanimous for themselves. Don't let this happen to you. You deserve better. You deserve better, so have fun with it. And in addition to that, envision your outcome. Envision your outcome. Take time to invest. Invest time each and every morning and every evening. Meditating on what completion looks like, what the outcome looks like, what it feels like. See yourself in it. Experience it. You know, there was a time I desired to manifest my perfect car, my dream car. It was a Mercedes S-Class. And I would sit there and I would go through it and look at all the information. I knew the car better than any salesperson on the dealership. I knew how it was supposed to sound when I started the engine. I knew how it was supposed to run. I envisioned how the radio was supposed to sound. I envisioned how it was supposed to feel, what the smell was supposed to be like. I envisioned what it looked like inside and out, under the hood, in the trunk. I envisioned how the transmission was supposed to shift, how the ride was supposed to feel as I'm floating down the road. I envisioned myself getting a massage in the seat, hot and the cool seats. I envisioned it all. I envisioned it in the daytime and in the evening. And lo and behold, I went and drove several 10, 20 S-Class Mercedes. And none of them matched up with what I was envisioning. So I could have very easily have said, well, you know what, just let me take one of these. But I didn't do that. I held fast, steadfast. I was being steadfast and true to the vision. I didn't want to self-sabotage myself. So I started looking myself online and I found one. And I operate a little different than most. I'll find what I'm looking for, and then once I locate it, I'll find a salesperson who I want to bless. I find a salesperson that I want to bless. I'll find a dealership that I want to bless. And we'll figure out how, if the car is not on that lot, to get them together. And so I interviewed a couple of salespeople to see who I wanted to bless. And I found one. Then I found the car. The car happened to be a sister dealership of the one I found, the salesperson. So I was able to get the best drive that I've ever had. You know, you go out there and you test drive, the best test drive I've ever had. I ended up test driving that vehicle for about 20, 25, 30 miles on the roads and on the highway. So I knew what it was. I was able to go through the process and feel if it was connecting with what my vision was. And it was. Now, it wasn't the S550, it was the S350, but it was everything that I envisioned. Everything. And by doing so, it was a quick and easy transaction. Done. Financing was easy. I came with it because I manifested that as well. So what I'm sharing with you here is not something that's impossible. It is tried and proven. It's tried and proven. So you manifest what it is that you desire, okay? Begin to take time out in the mornings and in the evenings. When you begin your day, see your day. See yourself being successful in the day with creating what it is that you desire to manifest. At the evenings, see your day and remember the successes that you realize and begin to put into your mind what it is that you're setting yourself up, seeing yourself connecting to that very thing that you desire to manifest. All right? And last but not least, celebrate your successes. So many times we're focused on the outcome and we forget about the journey. I want you to know that you will gain far more from the journey than you will ever get from the outcome. So embrace it and celebrate the experience. Smell the roses. This goes back to envisioning your outcome. Understand the different components and the different pieces that are setting you up to have your experiences. Understand it. That way, it doesn't feel void and empty when you manifest it. You remember where you come from, which will give you the fortitude to continue to press forward towards the mark. All right? I want you to remember this quote by Manuela George Izunwa. The quote says, "Fortify your dream with work. Unrelenting effort turns fantasy into reality." Again, fortify your dream with work. Unrelenting effort turns fantasy into reality. There's a passage that says that faith without works is dead. Well, it's very true. But sometimes the work that you think that you need to perform, is not external work. It's internal work. Many times the things that are preventing you from aligning with your manifestation, that are keeping it as a vision, is your disconnectedness. Is the impossibility of seeing yourself connected to what it is that you desire. So you have to go inside and do your work. Get rid of the obstacles that are inside your mind, that are inside your heart, that are being promoted by your ego. You have to let them go so that you can set yourself up for success. You got to let them go. And lastly, I want to remind you, each day acquire something that will fortify you against poverty, against death, indeed against other misfortunes as well. And after you have run over many thoughts, select one to be thoroughly digested that day. That's a quote by way of Seneca. Fortify your thoughts, fortify your mind. Use affirmations. Use whatever you can. Reading, studying, show yourself approved. Go and research others who have already manifested what it is that you desire. Let them give you insight on how they achieved it. Surround yourself with other people who are like-minded, with those who have already accomplished and those who are in the space of accomplishment at the same time. Have accountability partners. By doing so, then you will be connected to, then you truly will be fortified. All right, good people. That concludes this session. If there's any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, we'll continue to move forward. I thank you for tuning in. If you missed any part of this, feel free to go back to the stream. Go to the stream and hit the notification bell when you're over there at one YouTube channel, One Transformation Center. And just connect and see the other items, the other videos we have over there as well, as we do the morning manifestation. We do the morning manifestation over there. And then we also do the morning manifestation, and we also do the transformative conversations that happen on Wednesdays. So tune in. We thank you for connecting with us. And if you'd like to support us, we're grateful to receive any donations. You can send one to me through my Cash App. There it is at the bottom of the screen. It's Samuel Crumby Jr. Or you can go to the app. You can go to the app of Giveify. Look up One Transformation Center to be able to make a contribution. We appreciate it all. Whatever denomination, we appreciate it. We're very grateful for you. And we're here to support you along your journey. Until next time, continue to be great. Continue to be the change that you desire to see. We love you. We thank you. Be great. Namaste.
Trying to find your way. Let's see you smiling. Since we were stuck in late, babe, come jump the rooftop and come watch the skyline with me.